Hi, let's talk about chakras today. Now, we hear about chakras all the time, especially if you're practicing yoga or you're into meditation, then we hear about chakras. And sometimes it seems a bit, out there. What is this thing and what are our chakras? Where are they? Now, the thing with chakras is that you can't open your body and find them. Okay, so chakras are intangible, but they do exist. And especially when we understand them as we go forward, we'll know that we have experienced them, or we have experienced the energy of chakras. So in short, chakras are nothing but points of energetic awareness in your body. You've got them everywhere. You've got chakras all over your body. And many schools also understand that you've got them a little above and around your body as well. So it goes through many different layers of philosophical understanding of what is our body and what is our body made up of, along with the mind-body complex. But that's for another video. Today, we will speak about the chakras. Now, when I say that chakras are all over our body, then we're talking about larger ones, smaller ones. Some of them are big energy centers, some of them are smaller ones. Today, we will focus on what is traditionally understood as the 7 major chakras of the body. Now, before we go into detail on what the different chakras are, let me just share an image here for you. This is what chakras normally look like, okay? Well, they don't look like this, but they are usually depicted in different colors. Now, if you notice, the colors used are the different colors of the rainbow, and here you can see just 6. The way they are arranged are usually along the path of your spine. The 7th chakra is usually on the top of your head, okay? So now, there is a lot of discussion and controversy sometimes about why and who decided that they are actually these colors, the 7 colors of the rainbow. And some schools believe that, no, the colors are not necessarily these. Some think it's an effect of colonization, when the colonizers wanted to make sense of 7 different colors by saying, hey, we've got the prism, right? So let's just give it the colors. But regardless of what it is, the chakras do stand for the different frequencies in our body and the different frequencies around us. So as we know that light does split up into 7 different colors, then these chakras also, in their different frequencies and in their different energies, do combine together to make us a holistic individual, where the energies are combined to give a collective form of sorts. Now, chakras, when I say are energetic centers, our body is constantly flowing with prana. Our body is supposed to effectively and optimally move prana throughout the body so that we can live and experience life to its fullest, or in its fullest. Now, these chakras are centers where consciousness connects, okay? Now, how prana flows in the body largely is through channels, right? So we've got channels that convey or transport different nutrients, different, the waste as well. All of this is transported in our body, but energy gets transported through different nadis, okay? And nadis are nothing but energetic channels. They are channels through which energy flows. Now, these nadis are numerous in the body, but in general, and in spiritual contexts, in yogic context, the 2 major nadis that balance our lunar and our solar energies, or our our feminine and our masculine, or our yin and our yang, are largely our Ida and our Pingala. Ida refers to the lunar side and the Pingala refers to the solar side. Now, both of these can have energies flowing through them, but if you have energy that is dominant in just one of these 2 main nadis, either the Ida or the Pingala, then you may then there isn't a sense of balance, okay? Now, for balance, it is when both these nadis are able to move prana up through the central and the most important nadi in the body, and that's your Sushumna nadi. Now, yogic anatomy or Vedic anatomy also understands that the Sushumna nadi moves through or around the spinal cord, or just around the area of your spine. And so when we think of science, we think of the nervous system and the central nervous system being in the brain and your spinal cord. So it does move along that way to lift your consciousness. So it is, and there is a strong element of consciousness involved with the different chakras. So it is from your most primal consciousness to more evolved consciousness, moving up towards your brain, not in your brain, towards your brain, and then beyond, where it's actually opened and you have enlightenment. So on that note, what I'd like to share here for you is the first chakra that we have. Okay. Now, this first chakra is the root chakra. Okay. Now, these connection points that we say when we talk about consciousness, we're talking about how consciousness evolves from the most primal understanding of who we are, where our responses are generated from. Okay, and that's how everything to do with our consciousness has got to do with how we respond to different situations. So the root chakra is your lowermost, or the first chakra, your most basal, primal, foundational chakra. If you look at this, it has been cognized by rishis through the ages to be red in color, but also have 4 petals. And when we're talking about 4 petals, we are talking about these 4: 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, the 4 petals are also enclosing one of the yantras or the symbols of this particular chakra. And here you'll see a square and a downward facing triangle. Now, both of these in sacred geometry and in symbolism refer to a solid base. Okay. Now, whenever you have a tripod or a triangle, it does refer to, the 3 elements of our body, like our mind, body, and spirit, or the psyche, soma, and the soma, psyche, and the nous, and our 3 bodies. Okay, but the 4-pointed square is always a 4-pointed object, but the 4 points of a square refer to a solid foundation. They refer to all the 4 bodies in many philosophies that we have. That is our physical body, our emotional body, our pranic body, and also our feelings and our lower mind, our logic. Okay, so these 4 give us a steady and solid base. Now, anything to do with your root chakra has got to do with your sense of being grounded. It's your sense of, it's just what the roots do. They give you a foundation. They give you a solid grip on everything. Your root chakra is essential for everything above and beyond you. Okay, so it's always important to have a solid root, a solid foundation before you build onto higher consciousness. So it's very common for people to work with affirmations or work with something that is more intangible, but still not work on their more deep-rooted foundational issues, and then there is no connection. So they may seem to be speaking all the right things and speaking in all the right philosophical contexts, but on a root level, there seems to be a lack of stability. So stability is what is one of the main energies of the root chakra. Now, we have practices that go around for the root chakra as well. We've got yogic practices, we've got emotional practices, cleansing practices, and all of these. But primarily what chakras do are, when we say they are energy centers, they are almost like transformers. So in specific areas areas of focus or areas of responsibility of a particular chakra, they energize those emotions as well as the physical parts of our body. So we're talking about organs. So think of the organs where these different chakras are located. The root chakra is located at the base of your spine. So it's right at the bottom. It's everything to do with your legs, your lower part of the body. Now, the root chakra very closely works with the second chakra as well. So usually you'll find both of them in terms of their energies and in terms of their function are very, very similar. So this is your most primal, most basic, and your lowest chakra. The next chakra that that we speak about from the root is your sacral chakra. Okay, and your sacral chakra is nothing but an orange 6-petal chakra, and it is around your sacral region. It's also called your sexual chakra. And oh, before I forget, your root chakra in Sanskrit is called your Mooladhar. Mool means root, so it's your Mooladhar. Your sacral chakra is also called your Swadhisthana chakra. Swadhisthana. Now, your Swadhisthana chakra or your sexual chakra is just around your sacral area, where your sacrum is, the lower, just after your lumbar region. The butterfly-shaped bone is just around there. It largely works along with your lower abdominal pelvic region and the organs therein. So all your reproductive organs are also, and your sexuality are all governed by your sexual chakra. Now, the sexual chakra and the root chakra are considered your two most primal chakras. Okay, and it's got everything to do with the response to create. To when we talk about creation, we're talking about procreation in a way, but it's that creativity. So when people tend to have, say, an artist's block, for example, or a writer's block, and they feel that their art feels stuck or stagnant, then it's usually that their root chakra or with their Swadhisthana is a bit stuck. Now, let's pause here a little bit to speak about what I refer to in terms of stuck. Now, chakras in Sanskrit are nothing but, the translation refers to disc or a wheel that constantly spins. Now, a healthy chakra, which allows for the healthy flow of prana, is beautifully spinning. Now, if it is sluggish, either because of lack of movement or lack of focus or just because of the toxins that we carry, right? Then these chakras tend to get stagnant. They slow down, they get sluggish. Sometimes they just stop moving, or they move in the other order, or they might other direction, or they might be moving too fast, right? So they're not just spinning healthily by allowing prana to move through them and energize all their required, all their responsible organs, and or all the organs that they're responsible for, and all the energies that are supposed to come from a beautifully flowing and moving chakra. If the chakra is sluggish or overactive, then you tend to have imbalances, both emotional, psychological, as well as physical and physiological. So that's how the chakras manifest themselves. For you to have a fully active, a well and optimally active chakra, then that chakra needs to be moving smoothly, and you will find that your physical, physiological, emotional, mental energies, feelings, sensations, health, and well-being around these chakras or around these areas in your life tend to be also smoothly flowing. Okay, so that's got to do with your sacral chakra. It takes care of your sexuality, your libido, your reproductive cycles, your the generate, or both from ovulation as well as spermatogenesis. So it's all to do with your sacral or your sexual chakra. Right. Now, the next one that we have is your solar plexus. Your solar plexus chakra is usually governed by a yellow color. It's cognized to have a yellow color. Think of it, the solar, right? So it's got to do with the sun. And your innermost sun is right in your, just under your ribs. So that's where your solar plexus is. That's where if you get a punch, you tend to be winded out in a way, right? So that's your solar plexus. Your solar plexus chakra has got how many petals here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? So we've got 10 chakras. Now, 10 petals. Now, what we need to focus on is this in these images. So different images have different ways of drawing and depicting the chakras. But when we're looking at all of the chakras, we're looking at the inner circle here. Okay, so that's your solar plexus. It is your seat of ego and identity. Now, by ego, I'm not referring to your sense of identity, which is a negative way. It's your sense of identity, your sense of understanding who you are. It gives you your drive to do, to perform, but it is still a lower element. It is still something that holds you within the material, that holds you within the I. It is your I former, your I creator. It does bring you your sense of purpose in a way. So it's important when it comes to direction, your sense of leadership, even if it's self-driven leadership, all of that is with your solar plexus. Solar plexus imbalances may result in, feelings of unworthiness or a feeling of diffidence, lack of confidence. So all of these, anything to do with your identity, who am I? Who am I question sometimes originates from here, although it first starts with who am I and what is my value, and then you build on further as you evolve. So your response then begins from your root to your sacral, that is a little bit, let's be a little bit more creative, to I take charge. This is where I am, but it is still at a level of I, me, and myself, your solar plexus. Moving upwards from your solar plexus, we move to this beautiful chakra, which is your Anahata chakra or your heart chakra, your heart center. Now, the Anahata has got two colors. It's sometimes depicted as a green color and sometimes as a pink color. Both of them are fine. There's nothing wrong with one or the other. This one is a 12-petaled lotus. Okay. Now, the 12 petal also signifies the 6-pointed star, which is made by two intersecting triangles, one pointing downwards and one pointing upwards. And it shows the connection between your higher chakras and your lower chakras, also your yin and your yang, your masculine and your feminine. It shows you balance. Now, this is the first of your higher chakras. A lot of heart-centered work helps to balance both your lower chakras and your higher chakras. So working from a place of heart-centered action actually supports higher chakras. It's not as well as your lower chakras. So that's a very good place to begin. But also an interesting point to note here is that the image in itself, the symbol in itself, points to 12 points or 12 vertices within this symbol. You've got the 6 corners, 6, and then there's 6 points of intersection, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which gives us a total of 12 points of the heart. In many schools, the 12 petals of the chakras also refer to the 12 divine qualities of the heart or the heart chakra, which includes empathy and compassion and love and all of these very desirable virtues and qualities that we seek. Moving up and beyond the Anahata, we come to this blue Vishuddhi chakra. The Vishuddhi chakra is also your throat chakra. It's right here. And it governs your entire throat region and everything to do with speech. Your heart chakra has got everything to do with your heart and your lungs and the entire chest region. Your Vishuddhi or your throat chakra is right here. Now, the Vishuddhi chakra has got 16 petals. Okay, 16. One the very interesting connections between your throat chakra is that your throat chakra helps you with communication, okay? And that is the movement of your speech. It's also your tongue. Now, the Vishuddhi chakras, 16 vowels, or the 16 petals, also refer to the 16 vowels in the Sanskrit language. Okay. Now, in contemporary Sanskrit, we talk about 14 vowels because there are two vowels that are largely used only in Vedic scriptures and not in contemporary Sanskrit. So the 16 petals of the chakra, of the Vishuddhi chakra, were cognized not in contemporary times. They were cognized in Vedic times or even pre-Vedic times. So the 16 petals at this point do have a symbolism with the Sanskrit, the vowels of Sanskrit, and also the fact that Sanskrit is a very consciousness-based language. It's a very intelligent and a very methodical language where every alphabet has got a scientific way of being created, the sound in itself. So that's your Vishuddhi chakra. The Vishuddhi chakra is very important when it comes to management of your thyroid as well. So all your throat and your neck disorders or your thyroid disorders or imbalances have got a lot to do with your Vishuddhi, which also translate with your ability to communicate, right? So people who may have been stifled from speaking their truth or speaking up, speaking out, or holding on to, say, maybe trauma or abuse, will usually find that their throat chakra and their associated organs around it may get impacted or may demonstrate or may exhibit signs of an imbalance. Okay, so this is a very important chakra because it is the first of your, beyond your anahata, beyond your heart, it's the first of your higher, definitely higher consciousness chakras. Okay, now this is a blue color. It's blue in color. And as we move further, we go to the next chakra, which is your Agnya Chakra. The Agnya Chakra has got two petals only, and it looks like an eye. And rightly so, because it is your third eye. It is not here, it's not right here, but it is considered to be at a point within your mind, or within your head also, which is an intersection right between your eyebrows, if you have an imaginary line passing through from here, and a line going right from the top to the top of your crown. So where the two lines meet is where your third eye sits. It's very closely connected or assumed and presumed to be connected with your pituitary as well as your pineal glands. So these two glands which hold the seat for vision. This is your third eye. It is the highest that is within your body. Okay, it's the highest chakra that's within your body, but it is not the ultimate because it's still what you can see. It allows you to see the bigger picture. It allows you to have deeper vision, more spiritual wisdom also, to see both sides of the coin, or to also have the vision of higher truths. On a more practical level, visionaries have got a third eye that is supposedly very active and very strong. It helps them envision better, right? So that's your third eye chakra. It's indigo, and sometimes it's put in as a violet color as well, but it's that dark bluish color. Your last and your highest chakra along this, and this one is not in your spine, it's not within, but it's just above your crown. Okay, it's your place of highest consciousness, and this is the chakra which actually has 1,000 petals. Okay, now if you don't need to go sit counting here because it is an overall depiction of it, 1,000 petals of your Sahasrara Chakra. Your Sahasrara, there are two ways of pronouncing it, but that is where you have, it's just at the top of your crown. It it is the highest level of consciousness, allowing you to actually move through all the levels of your consciousness, all your chakras, and to give you a sense of oneness, that sense of unity with everything around you. So that is your chakra, your Sahasrara Chakra. Now, if you notice in this one, there is the Om that's drawn, that's written right in the center of your Sahasrara, which reminds me at this point to share that all the chakras, along with colors, along with the number of petals, along with the number of, along with the specific symbols of the yantra that's associated with that particular chakra, have particular sounds associated with them as well. So the different sounds of the chakras that we can use to chant, to bring that particular chakra either into a state of balance or to stimulate it, to tap into specific energies of that particular chakra. Starting from the root chakra, your root chakra or your Muladhar mantra is Lam. Okay. Then you move on to your Swadhisthana, which is Vam. Your solar plexus is Ram. Your Anahata or your heart center is Yam. Your Vishuddhi is Hum. Agnya is Sham. And then finally, your Sahasrara is Om. So these chakras by themselves can be worked upon. You can have yogic practices or asanas to help work with them. You can chant these particular mantras to specifically work with the different chakras, or you can work with color. You can visualize color to work with specific chakras, or you can work with balancing all of them by either chanting all the chakras, visualizing all the chakras to bring about balance, or, if you're working on something very specific, say, for example, you really want to tap in on creativity, or you want to work on your, say, maybe your menstrual cycles or menstrual disorders, imbalances, then those are chakras that you can work with. So every chakra has got its energy, has got its physiological output and influence, and they can be worked upon. They are intangible. They are energy centers which provide energy to a specific band of organs and energies around them. They're almost like transformers, a transformer which then provides electricity to a particular neighborhood, and say maybe one street down the neighborhood. So it's if I'm talking about, say, my Vishuddhi chakra, then it might provide the energy this side as well as this side and to this region. So it helps to look at it that way. Let's see. I think that about brings us to the end. No, one other thing, right? So these chakras that we have, for them to actually open up, you need to have a clear Sushumna Nadi. And your Sushumna Nadi gets cleared through different yogic practices and a yogic lifestyle as well, right? So the cleansing that is required also happens through pranayama. It helps to flush the Sushumna Nadi, to clear the way for your chakras, to allow the energy to move through them all the way upwards till you achieve that sense of connection, or that sense of connecting. That's your Shakti that rises, and that's called your Kundalini Shakti, which is seated or cognized like a coiled serpent at the base of your spine. So for it to rise up, we need to clear the blockages. So your chakras need to be cleared. And this is constant work. This requires regular, constant work, because we always tend to go out of balance. So different concepts, and instead of me digressing and then adding to it right now, we will speak about chakras only at this point, and maybe some more in subsequent videos. I hope this was of help, and I hope this was useful. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you soon. If you've got any questions or if you've got any comments, put them down in the comment box and I will respond to them soon. Thank you and namaste.